Right now, the most powerful medicine ever discovered is sitting completely ignored inside your own 2 legs. Researchers have literally called it the closest thing to a miracle drug ever found, and you already have access to it. You always have. We are talking about walking. And before you think you already know this, stay right here. Because what happens inside your body when you walk every single day goes so far beyond burning calories that most people have no idea what they are missing. I am going to take you through all 10. And at the end, I'm going to hand you the exact scientific blueprint, the specific formula of frequency, intensity, and time that unlocks every benefit we are about to cover. Get any one of those 3 wrong and you leave most of the results on the table. Let's start with number 10. This one alone is worth your entire watch time. Most people believe the brain is fixed, that after a certain age, what you have is what you get. Science just proved that wrong, and walking is the reason why. Deep inside your brain sits a structure called the hippocampus. It is the command center for memory, learning, and cognitive function. And here is the terrifying part. Every year you spend sitting, it shrinks. A study at the University of Kansas confirmed that sedentary behavior does not just slow cognitive decline, it accelerates it. It actively pulls the trigger on dementia and Alzheimer's. Over 35 million people are living with Alzheimer's right now. That number is on track to double within 20 years. But here is what changes everything. When you walk, your brain releases a compound called BDNF, brain-derived neurotrophic factor. Scientists have called it miracle grow for the brain. It triggers the growth of new neurons, new blood vessels, and new neural connections. The hippocampus physically increases in volume. A study in JAMA Neurology following nearly 80,000 adults found that people who walked briskly for 30 minutes a day cut their risk of developing dementia by 62%. 62%. Most medications cannot come close to those numbers. Every step is building a bigger, more resilient brain. That is not motivation. That is biology. This one sounds impossible until you understand the mechanism. Walking protects your eyesight. Glaucoma, one of the leading causes of permanent blindness, is caused by a dangerous buildup of fluid inside the eye. Picture a water balloon being slowly overfilled. That pressure crushes the optic nerve quietly and invisibly until vision starts disappearing. By the time most people notice, the damage is already done. The Glaucoma Research Foundation confirmed that regular walking acts as a natural pressure release valve. It stabilizes blood flow and systematically lowers fluid pressure inside the eye. Here is the critical distinction most people never hear. High-intensity running can actually spike that pressure and make it worse. Walking regulates it. You are walking away from blindness, and most people have never been told this once in their life. The fitness industry spent decades convincing you that if you are not running, your heart is not getting enough work. The American Heart Association ran the data, and the conclusion was clear. When it comes to preventing coronary heart disease and stroke, walking is just as effective as running. Not close, equal. The mechanism is arterial compliance. Daily walking widens the arteries over time, lowers LDL cholesterol, the dangerous kind, and acts as a natural beta blocker on blood pressure. And here is the part that changes how you think about intense exercise. Running floods your system with cortisol. That stress hormone, when chronically elevated, damages the arteries you are working so hard to protect. Walking delivers the full cardiovascular benefit without the cortisol tax. Clean arteries, stronger heart, no destruction required, and that sets up number 7, which most people have never connected to a simple walk. Here is something most people never think about. Your lungs have 2 zones. The upper lobes, the ones that get used during shallow everyday breathing, and the lower lobes, the ones that barely get touched when you are sitting still at a desk for 8 hours. When those lower lobes sit dormant, stale air accumulates. Waste gases pool, and the immune cells lining that tissue stop getting the oxygen circulation they need to function properly. This is one of the hidden mechanisms behind why sedentary people catch more colds, recover slower, and feel chronically run down. Walking changes this completely. It forces the diaphragm to contract and expand fully, driving fresh oxygen deep into those neglected lower chambers and flushing out what has been sitting there. A 2019 study found that people who walked regularly had significantly stronger natural killer cell activity, the immune cells responsible for hunting down viruses and early-stage cancer cells. Every deep breath on that walk is a dual action: detox and defense. You are cleaning the filter and reloading the immune system at the same time. This is where the science gets genuinely surprising. Duke University ran a 6-month clinical trial pitting walkers directly against runners, measuring one specific outcome: glucose metabolism. The result challenged everything researchers assumed. Walkers showed 6 times greater improvement in glucose tolerance than the runners. 6 times. Here is why. When you run, your body burns glucose like a furnace, fast, hot, and urgent. It yanks stored sugar from your muscles and liver just to keep pace. But when you walk, your body learns to process blood sugar slowly and efficiently, training your cells to absorb glucose using less insulin each time. The pancreas gets to rest. It stops being pushed to its limit every single day. A Harvard study of over 73,000 people found that 30 minutes of brisk walking a day cuts the risk of developing type 2 diabetes by 30%. Over 130 million Americans are currently diabetic or pre-diabetic. That is not a small number, and if you are one of them, running might actually be the wrong tool. Walking is the precise biological reset your pancreas has been waiting for. Your digestive tract is muscular tissue. It runs on movement, and when you stop moving, it stops moving with you. The process that drives digestion is called peristalsis, rhythmic wave-like contractions that push food and waste through the system. Sitting slows those contractions down. Waste lingers longer than it should. Exposure to carcinogenic compounds increases. Inflammation builds quietly in the lining of the gut. A study tracking over 150,000 people found that sedentary individuals developed colon cancer at dramatically higher rates than active people. 30 minutes of walking a day stimulates peristalsis, cuts transit time through the colon, and significantly reduces that exposure. If you have ever dealt with bloating, irregular bowel movements, or gut discomfort, the answer your doctor probably did not give you first is this: walk more. Your gut is waiting for the signal that your body is moving. This one surprises people, and it applies to everyone, not just men. Testosterone is the most abundant biologically active hormone in both sexes. It governs fat distribution, bone density, muscle strength, mental health, energy, and drive. A study published in the journal Endocrinology tracked the direct relationship between daily step count and testosterone levels. The findings were clear. Testosterone increased measurably at 4,000 steps per day. The most significant spike came at 8,000 steps and above. For every additional 1,000 steps taken daily, total testosterone rose by 7 nanograms per deciliter. People are spending money on supplements, cold plunges, and every testosterone protocol imaginable. The most effective and most accessible lever available to them is steps. Are you getting yours? Because if you are not, your hormones are paying the price. Your skeleton is not passive. It is living tissue that responds to stress signals. Without those signals, it begins to dissolve. That is osteoporosis. And it affects tens of millions of people who never saw it coming because there are no symptoms until something breaks. Here is the mechanism that makes walking uniquely powerful for bone health. Every time your foot strikes the ground, it generates a small electrical charge inside the bone. That charge, through a process called piezoelectricity, signals specialized cells called osteoblasts to build new bone tissue. You are sending an electrical signal through your skeleton with every single step. And that signal is what keeps your bones dense, strong, and resistant to fracture. Running generates those signals too, but it also creates fracture risk, joint inflammation, and recovery time that sidelines you for days. Walking builds bone without the collateral damage. And at the same time, research shows that brisk walking with proper form preserves lean muscle mass while burning visceral fat. The form matters. Spine straight, arms at 90 degrees, heel to toe contact, pelvis stable. That is not optional detail. That is what separates a training session from a casual stroll. Back pain is the most common physical complaint in the modern world. And most people are making it worse with the very things they think are helping: intense exercise, prolonged sitting, and complete rest. Here's what your doctor probably never explained. Your spinal discs have no direct blood supply. None. They cannot receive nutrients the way other tissues do. Instead, they depend entirely on a compression and release pumping action to absorb fluid and push waste out, like a sponge being squeezed and released over and over. Walking is the only low-impact daily movement that delivers this pumping action consistently to every disc in the spine. It circulates nutrients into the soft tissue. It strengthens the deep, stabilizing muscles that hold your posture upright. It decompresses vertebrae that hours of sitting have been slowly crushing together. The longer you sit without walking, the drier those discs get. Walking is not just exercise for your spine. It is the only nutrition delivery system your spine has. We saved the most powerful one for last. And this may be the most underestimated finding in modern medicine. The Journal of Psychiatric Research studied 50 individuals with diagnosed major depression. They walked for 30 minutes a day. The results were not incremental. Walking dismantled their symptoms in ways medication alone had failed to achieve. Here is the mechanism. Walking burns off cortisol, the primary stress hormone, while simultaneously releasing endorphins, serotonin, and BDNF. That combination is a hard chemical reset for your entire emotional state. And here is the layer most people never reach. Walking slightly faster than your normal pace creates a state of neuroplasticity. Your brain registers the urgency of faster movement and enters a heightened state of alertness. That is the window where new neural pathways form. Nobody is asking you to run a marathon. Just walk a little faster than feels comfortable. Your brain will do the rest. The average American takes fewer than 3,000 steps a day. The research says 8,000 is the minimum for meaningful health impact. That gap between where most people are and where the benefits begin is costing years of life. A study in PLOS Medicine found that just 11 minutes of walking per day extends your lifespan by 2 years. Research from Saarland University found that 25 minutes of brisk walking daily can add up to 7 years. Measured through telomere activity, one of the most reliable biological markers of how fast you are aging. 7 years. Not from an expensive protocol, from walking. People are spending billions on gym memberships, supplements, and fitness technology, and obesity rates keep climbing. Because exercise and movement are not the same thing. You cannot undo 8 hours of sedentary sitting with a 45-minute gym session. Walking is not the supplement to your fitness routine. For most people, it is the foundation everything else should be built on. 3 variables. Get all 3 right and your biology begins to shift within days. Miss 1 and you are going for a stroll. F. Frequency. Daily, non-negotiable. Your cells respond to repeated signals, not occasional ones. Starting out, 3 to 5 days a week is fine. 5 minutes is fine, but frequency is what reprograms the habit loop. Your genes expect this movement. Daily is the signal that makes everything else work. I. Intensity. A slow stroll with your eyes on your phone is not a walk. It is movement theatre. What you need is the talk test zone, moving fast enough that you could hold a conversation, but you would not want to, roughly 2.5 to 3.5 miles per hour. If you can finish a full sentence without any effort, you are too slow. If you are gasping, too fast. The sweet spot is where your aerobic system is genuinely working. That is where fat oxidation peaks. That is where mitochondrial production gets stimulated. That is the zone where stored body fat becomes your primary fuel source. T. Time. The threshold is 30 minutes. That is where the full biological cascade kicks in. But you do not have to do it all at once. 2 15-minute walks, 3 10-minute walks. A 20-minute walk after dinner counts. The post-dinner walk is particularly powerful. Research confirms it dramatically lowers blood sugar spikes and improves insulin sensitivity with every single session. Your step target is 8,000, not 10,000. That number came from a Japanese marketing campaign in the 1960s, not from science. 8,000 is where the research shows real longevity impact. Everything above that is a bonus. Rule 1, hydrate first. A dehydrated body is a seized engine. water before you move. Rule 2, swing your arms. Arms at 90 degrees, moving in opposition to your legs. It activates the upper body and increases caloric output by up to 10%. Rule 3, same time every day. Morning is optimal. It resets your circadian rhythm and builds sleep pressure through the day, so you actually fall asleep faster at night. This is the same reason elite military units prescribe morning walks for soldiers with chronic sleep problems. It is not anecdote. It is chronobiology. You now know what is happening inside your body when you walk. The brain that grows, the hormones that rise, the bones that rebuild, the gut that moves, the spine that gets fed, the heart that strengthens, and the mind that rewires itself, one step at a time. You also know what is happening when you do not. The hippocampus that shrinks, the cortisol that builds, the blood sugar that spikes unchecked. Nobody can sell you this. Nobody can bottle it. It costs nothing, and it has been yours the entire time. Put on your shoes, step outside, start today, stay moving, stay alive.